Well, the cross-examination of the former North West Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Advocate Sello Maema, in the Nkabinde Inquiry underway. Evidence leaders focusing on the lawfulness of the coordination involving the South Gauteng NPA head, Advocate Chauke, questioning his role as provided by the then Acting National Director of Public Prosecutions, Advocate Nomgcobo Jiba. Maema was entrusted with leading a team of senior prosecutors who were sent to KwaZulu-Natal to look into the Cato Manor killings. He's the first witness brought by the suspended Joburg head of prosecutions, Chauke. Newzroom Africa's Nqobile Madlala joins us now. Nqobile, good afternoon to you. What have we heard so far on this cross-examination?
Well, I think what the focus has been, Stephen, is the hierarchy in the NPA. We're told that there's a National Director of Public Prosecutions. Under them, they've got their deputy, as well as the DPPs. As you know, with respect to Gauteng, you've got two DPPs. You've got the North and the South. And in this case, we're speaking about the South Gauteng Director of Public Prosecutions. Now, in the cross-examination, they've looked at whether or not he was in line or in his jurisdiction when he was coordinating between the leader, which was Advocate Maema, as well as the NDPP. What they've highlighted is that there's a seat of court that you are given by the president, and that seat is South Gauteng Director of Public Prosecutions. However, they are alluding to the fact that he overstepped when he was doing that coordinating role. In fact, they're saying that according to the Act, there's no place in the Act that says that the DPP can actually continue the work of another DPP. In this case, we are talking about Advocate Mlotshwa, who was in KZN, whom they feel at this point was the one that was supposed to actually assist Advocate Maema and this team of prosecutors that were looking at these cases in coordinating between them and the NDPP at the time. So the argument at the moment is that you can highlight that Advocate Chauke had done more than what was expected of him as the DPP in the South Gauteng Director of Public Prosecutions. But let's listen in as they explain further.
And we know now that you are assigned to Advocate Mlotshwa to go and prosecute these matters, and Section 24(1) tells us that the DPP, the director being Advocate Mlotshwa, in respect of the area for which he has been appointed, has, amongst others, the power to institute and conduct criminal proceedings and to carry out functions incidental thereto, as contemplated in Section 20(3). Do you recall that part?
Chairperson, you said Section 24. I'm not sure whether
Section 24(1).
24(1)
of the NPA Act.
I remember it so, yes.
And B says he's got the power to supervise, direct and coordinate the work and activities of all deputy directors and prosecutors in the office of which he is the head.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes. So basically, the power to coordinate, because the prosecution team was assigned to his office to prosecute these matters, the power to coordinate, to supervise, coordinate, and direct the prosecution team's work and activities vested in Advocate Mlotshwa.
I do not necessarily agree with that version.
But that's what the Act says.
Yes, but remember when Advocate Mlotshwa, as a appointed DPP, requests that a team from outside deal with the matter, then it changes the complexion of what the Act says.
But Advocate Mlotshwa did not relinquish his powers in terms of the Act. Do you agree with me?
I agree, yes.
But let us...
It may well also be that if you persist with this line of questioning, that the right person to call as your witness will be acting NDPP, who exercised these powers that you say were unlawfully exercised because the Act does not give her such powers.
Madam Chair, we will, and we can make a note. We'll refer you to a judgment. I think it's a recent judgment.
No, I'm just saying it may well be in your interest as the evidence leaders, following this line of questions, to consider calling Advocate Jiba, who is the one who exercised the powers that you say she did not have.
I thought sure. We will consider it and
Yes, thank you, Chair.
So, I mean, in Nqobile, to watch all of this play out just is a reminder about what was happening during the Cato Manor unit, the claims of murder. You've been watching this over the last couple of months now. There's been a lot of testimony about it. I mean, what's your sense of how our understanding of what was going on then has changed and what will happen next?
Well, Stephen, it's to see those pictures, what they have painted for the inquiry, to see the evidence that they've brought forward, some of it being the ballistics report from Mr. Mangena, stating that there was evidence that was planted. It almost goes towards the fact that the Cato Manor unit was really what they are calling it. However, this of course is subjected to be before the inquiry and taken to court. And this is why we are seeing that now Advocate Maema is saying himself that these 50 dockets that they looked at, 23 specifically that they felt had evidence, must go before court. It tells you that there's a need for families to find that sense of justice. And whilst we're speaking about that, I had a chance to speak to one family just on the side. And what they've spoken to me about is that this has opened old wounds, that it's been difficult for them to accept what they're seeing on screen now, because all along they knew that the people that were killed were not, they didn't have guns, they did not shoot at anyone. And that was the major thing that really hurt them the most, because their people were painted in a certain light. But then, of course, it speaks to what Advocate Maema is saying. Only the court of law can look at this evidence and decide.
Nqobile, Madlala, thank you very much indeed. Really do appreciate that.